Price depreciation, green tea girlfriend begs for forgiveness, Part 2. Chen Xianlin sat quietly on the chair, picked up the coffee on the table and drank it one after another, falling into deep thought. Has been with Zhang Xiaojia for so many years, why didn't she see that she was such a money-worshipping girl? When he first entered the society, his salary was pitiful, and Zhang Xiaojia was willing to accompany him to live the hard life of eating instant noodles for about a week. Why is it like this now? Or is it that Zhang Xiaojia just didn't meet a rich second generation that she could climb high at that time? So I have been hanging on to my own big injustice, being infinitely good to her, paying for her, and then waiting for her so-called true love. He couldn't figure it out. Li Yi also picked up the latte and took another sip at this time, and did not disturb Chen Xianlin, who was in a daze. He is also not good at comforting. Just sat opposite Chen Xianlin silently and let him figure it out for himself. Then Li Yi picked up his mobile phone and opened Weixin and clicked into the circle of friends. Quickly swiped the dynamics of the circle of friends, and stopped the finger that was about to continue swiping down when he saw a photo. It is a selfie photo from Zhang Xiaojia's circle of friends. Li Yi clicked on the photo and saw Zhang Xiaojia wearing a necklace around her neck that looked very valuable. Good guys, this is a selfie, this is a naked show-off. Li Yan didn't remember that he still had Zhang Xiaojia's slight heart. Seeing Zhang Xiaojia's circle of friends, he just raised the corners of his mouth and sneered. Even the so-called East Ring Villa is a fake, and this necklace that seems to be worth a lot of money should be a fake. Looking at it again, there is also a current positioning displayed below the photo. Iris Restaurant. Li Yi put the phone on the table, and then slowly pushed it in front of Chen Xianlin. Chen Xianlin, who was relieved, looked listlessly at the mobile phone pushed over by Li Yan. At first, I looked sick, but when I saw the content on my phone, I suddenly felt like I had been beaten with chicken blood. Picked up the mobile phone handed over by Li Yan violently. Seeing the above positioning, Chen Xianlin said that he wanted to go to the restaurant where Zhang Xiaojia was located, and then be a dog licker for the last time. He didn't believe that he couldn't wake up Zhang Xiaojia, who was temporarily blinded by lard. The time to see Zhang Xiaojia's circle of friends was 2 minutes ago, so if he rushes to it now, he will definitely be able to bump into Zhang Xiaojia and the Yiqingju. Seeing that he was so anxious, Li Yan followed Chen Xianlin to Iris Restaurant. As a passer-over and an outsider, Li Yi knew very well that it was not Zhang Xiaojia who was blinded by lard, but his good brother Chen Xianlin. Long pain is better than short pain, then follow Chen Xianlin to comprehend this gold worshipper. Can also be used to hope that Chen Xianlin will come to his senses. For a gold worshipper like Zhang Xiaojia, it is not worth it. The two soon arrived at Iris Restaurant. It is a restaurant that looks very high class on the outside, and it feels like it can't afford to eat. But in fact, the dishes inside are cheap to death. As soon as he entered the restaurant, Chen Xianlin began to frantically look for Zhang Xiaojia. He pushed open one private room door after another. Among them, the dog was scolded by several guests who were eating, but he didn't care at all. Li Yan also followed silently behind him. Seeing such a crazy Chen Xianlin, I couldn't help but think of myself, but fortunately, I was not as stupid as Chen Xianlin to this point. What's the use of humbly keeping my girlfriend because of money worship? And the meaning of this kind of thing that touches the bottom line is no longer the same. For him, it is to break off immediately, but he doesn't want to go around the garbage all day long. Chen Xianlin finally saw Zhang Xiaojia sitting next to him in the crack of a half-open private room door. She was holding the diamond-encrusted necklace around her neck and caressing it. Chen Xianlin slammed the door open. Suddenly gave Zhang Xiaojia in the private room a big jump. Then slowly walked towards Zhang Xiaojia. Xiaojia, don't you believe that what I said is true, that Yiqing juice is really a... Who lied to you? Said earnestly. At this time, Zhang Xiaojia, who was at a loss, also stood up suddenly. What are you doing? You're following me. You get out of here. Qingju went out to answer the phone, and it's not good to come back and let him bump into him later. Zhang Xiaojia said as she pushed Chen Xianlin out of the private room, and said in a panic. Chen Xianlin shook off Zhang Xiaojia's hands that were pushing him out. Then he scolded in a very heavy and serious tone. Zhang Xiaojia, you sober me up. It was precisely because of this sentence that Zhang Xiaojia was completely angered. She felt that Chen Xianlin just wanted to make herself feel bad, and she was jealous that her future life was a few grades higher than him. So say some nonsense so that you can continue to live a hard life with him. She didn't want to continue to go back to live with Chen Xianlin like that, eating one meal a day and thinking about what to do with the next meal. It's scary to think about. Although Chen Xianlin is much more motivated in his career now, his food and clothing have also been solved, and he also has some savings. But compared with the current rich second-generation Yiqingju, it is still far behind. She said that in fact, she couldn't stand those days with Chen Xianlin for a long time. Has not left, but he was just blinded by Chen Xianlin's kindness to him for a while. Now that his true love has finally arrived, what's the use of Chen Xianlin's kindness and affection? Can I buy a car? Can I buy a house? Can you take it without hesitation when you look at a brand-name bag? Obviously, no. Then why are you still wronged? Thinking of this, Zhang Xiaojia felt that she had really wasted a few years of good time in Chen Xianlin. The more I think about it, the more I feel worthless. When she was about to scold Chen Xianlin, Yiqingji came back after making a phone call. Before that, Yiqingji received a call from his father. His father told him that if he did not do his job properly, all his bank cards would be frozen in the future, so that he would not need a penny. Yiqingji is the only child in the family, and the family runs a media company. The elders have been cultivating hard, just wanting him to inherit the family business in the future, who knows that he will do nothing but gnaw on the old idle all day. So he assigned him a task. If he couldn't complete it, then he wouldn't want to take a penny from his family in the future, so he was ready to be self-reliant. Yiqingji swore on the phone and replied that he promised to complete the task. After hanging up the phone, he walked into the private room. Yo, who am I? Seeing Chen Xianlin. In the private room, he looked proud, and then said contemptuously to Chen Xianlin. It's like being complacent about the corner of the wall that he has successfully dug up. Then he looked at Li Yan on Chen Xianlin's side, carefully weighed it up and down, and continued. Sure enough, you see, you still have a helper. Why, bring someone as poor as you to snatch my girlfriend? It's really what kind of people make what kind of friends, you two combined. This poor sour smell almost makes me breathless. Yiqingju approached Li Yan and Chen Xianlin, stepped forward and sniffed in front of the two with his nose, and then walked away with a disgusted face. Patted his body, for fear of being contaminated with the poor sour smell of the two. Then he came to Zhang Xiaojia, hugged her little waist and laughed. Zhang Xiaojia raised her right hand even more pompously and fanned it in front of her nose. With a look of disgust, he said that he did smell a suffocating poor sour smell. Chen Xianlin, you will die of this heart. Li Yan, you don't have to follow him to persuade me to change my mind. I won't go back to continue to live a hard life with him if I am killed. In order to prove that he loves me, he bought a top-notch villa for me in the East Ring Villa district. The title deed is still written in my name. Presumably neither of you know the price of the villa area in the East Ring district, and the cheapest villa can kill both of you. Zhang Xiaojia held Yiqingju's arm with both hands, her nostrils were very high, and she said proudly with her flaming red lips. In her opinion, she is already a phoenix standing on the top at the moment, showing off how glorious her life is now. I thought that if Li Yong was willing to help him persuade Chen Xianlin to stop pestering him, as long as he coaxed himself to be happy, then he would inevitably benefit from it. It's a pity that it is obvious that the relationship between Li Yin and Chen Xianlin is extraordinary, so he must have helped Chen Xianlin. In this way, it seems that Li Yan has one less chance to be able to hug her thighs, and it is no wonder that she is no wonder. Then he looked at Li Yan and Chen Xianlin arrogantly, and said coquettishly to Yiqingju. Honey, you take out the real estate deed and let them see how magnificent the real estate deed of the East Ring Villa area is. In fact, Zhang Xiaojia has not seen what this real estate certificate looks like. I just heard Yiqingju tell her that she had bought a villa in her own name, and her name was written on it. So she was also very curious and wanted to see if the real estate certificate of this East Ring Villa area was inlaid with gold edges. But when Yiqingji heard Zhang Xiaojia's words, he suddenly trembled nervously. This stupid girl, I really thought I would pay a lot of money to buy her a villa. I didn't live so well myself, and I bought her a villa. It's really easy to deceive. Young Master Ben just likes to dig the foot of the wall, and when he gets tired of playing, he will go next, and I can't be as loyal as a dog like Chen Xianlin. What kind of diamond-encrusted necklaces are these so-called high-end restaurants? Zhang Xiaojia really thinks he is stupid. Is it worth spending so much money for a money worshipper like her? And let me take out the real estate certificate to show off now, then isn't it equivalent to lifting a stone to shoot myself in the foot? What a foolish comparison. If anyone marries a mother-in-law like Zhang Xiaojia, it will really be 8 lifetimes of blood mold. Push people alive into the fire pit. Fortunately, she has a smart mind, otherwise she would have to plant her name today. Yi Qingju looked at Zhang Xiaojia in horror, and all kinds of impulses to scold her came to mind. At this time, Li Yan, who was on the side, was just quietly watching how Yi Qingju went to round up the force he pretended. Oh, the title deeds. I seem to be left at home, or another day. Yi Qingju's eyes floated up and down, and he said weakly. At this time, he was afraid that this matter would be exposed. Take a deep breath. Fortunately, Li Yan and Chen Xianlin don't know the truth of the matter, otherwise they would be ugly. Besides, there is no one who carries the real estate certificate with him. Yi Qingju couldn't help but feel that he was really too smart, and he could come up with this kind of tightly integrated method. Let your assistant bring it to you, people want to see it now. Zhang Xiaojia continued to coquettish at Yi Qingju. But Yi Qingju's anger at this time was directly clenched his teeth. Then he looked at Zhang Xiaojia with a smile. At this moment, he really wanted to touch her face and give her a loving touch. While filling the pit, Zhang Xiaojia dug out the pit he had worked so hard to fill on the side. Damn! This Zhang Xiaojia is an undercover agent. Zhang Xiaojia's words also amused Li Yan couldn't help laughing. Now let's see how Yi Qingju continues to round this force. Li Yi crossed his hands and hovered in front of his chest, the corners of his mouth rose slightly, like a crowd eating melons, waiting to continue watching the show. What's so nice about a real estate deed? When the time comes, I'll show it to you alone. Besides, that's the real estate certificate of the East Ring Villa area, and they deserve it. Yi Qingju's nervous legs trembled. He hoped that after this sentence, he begged Zhang Xiaojia not to talk. If she said one more undesirable word, she would probably vomit blood. For so long, he has been using material aspects to coax some girls who already have boyfriends. It's a way to get pleasure and excitement. Especially a money worshipper like Zhang Xiaojia, one deceives one accurate. If I had to give myself an award, it would be the award for the best broken couple. Think about the previous ones, even if the scam was exposed later, they just patted their butts and left. But there has never been an embarrassing situation like today, which almost suffocated. It's okay to be debunked when facing Zhang Xiaojia alone, just pat your ass and leave. But there are 2 other living human pestles in Tima here. Xiaojia, I told you, he lied to you, he couldn't get any real estate certificate in the East Ring Villa area at all, and he had already been bought by a Shenhao. Chen Xianlin really couldn't stand it. Why doesn't Zhang Xiaojia believe in herself? After more than 7 years of getting along, doesn't she know that she would never lie to her? And Zhang Xiaojia still cares about whether what Chen Xianlin said is true or false at this time. She only knew that Yi Qingju was indeed a local tyrant family, and she only wanted to marry into a wealthy family. Whether it's true or fake, Qingju has the strength of that family. A villa is also just a matter of buying every minute. Unlike you, it's nothing but a heart that is dead to me. Get out of here. Qingju is right, the poor sour smell on the 2 of you has filled the whole room. Don't chase me shamelessly, you were really blind at the beginning, how could you choose to be with you, a poor ghost? Zhang Xiaojia frowned tightly and replied in an extremely impatient tone. According to Chen Xianlin sowing discord, wouldn't it be long before he woke up from his dream of a rich wife? I just want to enter the upper class smoothly, why is it so difficult? When Chen Xianlin heard these words at this time, he also instantly felt really disheartened about Zhang Xiaojia. Also, a true heart is nothing, it is not worth anything at all. Buried in frustration and ready to leave, Li Yan stepped forward and pulled him back. The real estate certificate of the East Ring Villa area, right, Xianlin, I remember that you don't have a set. The last time I went to play there, I showed it off, but when I left, it fell on my coffee table, and you forgot about such an important thing. Fortunately, I have collected it for you, and now I have someone to bring it over and return it to you. Li Yan said solemnly to Chen Xianlin. In fact, he had already sent a message to Su Xinran to ask her to take a copy of the real estate certificate of the Dongwon Villa area in the drawer of her bedroom and send it to Iris Restaurant. Is going to send a villa to his good brother Chen Xianlin to give him enough confidence. Chen Xianlin looked dazed, and then approached Li Yin in a panic and muttered quietly. Laoli, no, I don't have any real estate certificate in the East Ring Villa area, it's like this, don't mess with me. Chen Xianlin stood in place and trembled very badly. I almost peed my pants because of Li Yi's words. I can't even afford to buy a house, where did I get a villa, or a sky-high villa in the East Ring Villa district? No matter how much Li Yan wants to help himself out of the siege, he won't do anything like this. How will it end in a while? It is strange that Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia must not be stepped on the ground and rubbed the last dignity cleanly. It's a head-scratching to think about. He sighed several times in a row. Ha 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 ha, Chen Xianlin. If he has the real estate certificate of the Dongwon Villa area, my Yi Qingju's name Tima will be read backwards in the future. Yi Qingju clutched his stomach and laughed. Zhang Xiaojia on the side also couldn't hold back directly, and fell to the ground laughing. I have been with Chen Xianlin for so long, others don't I know Chen Xianlin's family background. Also in the villa, there is a kennel that can be regarded as burning high incense in his last life. Later, Yi Qingju also made up the knife. Slapping the table and laughing wildly. That's it, if he can come up with the real estate certificate of the villa area in the East Ring, no, I hope it will be low. Whenever he takes out a set of real estate certificates for any house, even if it is a thatched house, as long as there is a real estate certificate, I, Zhang Xiaojia, kneel down and apologize to him today. Chen Xianlin watched the two of them laughing at him, and he was so angry that he couldn't wait to step forward and tear up their disgusting stinky mouths. But what they said was true, and they didn't even have a grass hut. Yikes. If only it were really as Li Yi said. At this time, Li Yan smiled and patted him on the shoulder and said, "Trust me, you have." On the other side, Su Xinran didn't ask much after receiving Li Yin's call, and casually took a real estate certificate to Iris Restaurant. She didn't know exactly what the situation was. I only knew to let my driver drive faster, for fear that Li Yan would be in a hurry. But she was also curious, so she began to analyze it in the car. Early in the morning, Li Yan answered a phone call and hurriedly went out. Now I want a real estate certificate. Could it be that Shenhao's identity was discovered, and then he was targeted by some bad guy? In the end, the other party used his tricks to blackmail him to redeem himself with money. Then Li Yan just ran out of cash again, and he couldn't live in so many villas. That's why I just took a random villa and used it as a lifesaver for myself. Su Xinran muttered quietly alone in the car. Thinking of this, Su Xinran asked the driver to speed up a little more. And the driver of the Ferrari luxury car saw Su Xinra's symptoms of anxiety. I just sighed silently in my heart while driving. I have to say that Su Xinran's brain hole is really big enough, and she can come up with this kind of mess. Who is Li Yin? What kind of trick can others use to threaten him? This is obviously overthinking. The Ferrari drove fast on the way to the Iris Restaurant. At this speed, passers-by on the side only felt as if something flew in front of them with a bang. What if the faint-hearted thought they had seen a dam? Soon, Su Xinran arrived at Iris Restaurant. When she came to the door of the private room number that Li Yan said, she didn't go in immediately. Instead, he stayed quietly outside the door of the private room, and after looking outside the door for a while, he was relieved of his previous worries. In an instant, it suddenly dawned on me that there were people who didn't know the height of the sky and the earth and began to look for death. Dare to talk to Li Yan like this, it's not looking for death. Then he slowly opened the door and walked into the private room. Came to Li Yin's side and handed the real estate certificate in his hand to Li Yin. At this time, Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia, who saw Su Xinran walking in, looked at each other. Then he began to laugh and sarcastically again. Yo, look, the play is quite good. Come on, let's two people who have never seen the world to see what the real estate certificate of the so-called sky-high Dongwon Villa looks like, ha ha ha, laughing to death. Li Yan took the real estate certificate from Su Xinran's hand, then took Chen Xianlin's hand, handed it to Chen Xianlin's hand and said, "Look, don't you have a lot of money and don't know what to do? This is a sky-high villa, why don't you pay so much attention to it? When Li Yan said the word sky high, he deliberately emphasized loudly to Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia. At this time, Chen Xianlin took the real estate certificate given to him by Li Yongxi, and his heart was extremely complicated. With his understanding of Li Yin over the years, it is simply impossible to win this sky-high villa. It is impossible for the ancestors to smoke from the blue. So where did Li Yan get the real estate certificate? Could it be that he imitated it? This Tima is too realistic. When the identification expert came, he had to keep his head straight when he looked at this fake real estate certificate. Forget it. Don't worry about it for now, they won't recognize it if it's so realistic anyway. After pretending to be this force, it's a big deal not to see each other in the future. Unexpectedly, Li Yong has helped himself to act here, so I have to do a good job as an actor. Then Chen Xianlin nodded at Li Yan, indicating that he understood. Li Yan felt a little strange, but he didn't think much about it. After all, there were still people waiting to die. Then he walked towards the two of them step by step, and then said slowly, "Come on, what did you two just say? Pronounce the name upside down, kneel down and apologize. Who will come first?" Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia saw the real estate certificate handed over to Chen Xianlin by Li Yi. Rushed towards the real estate certificate in Chen Xianlin's hand. They couldn't believe that all of this was true, and they just wanted to check the authenticity before moving on to the next step. The two of them are also smart and know that they have left a way back for themselves, but unfortunately it is over. The two stepped forward and hurriedly took the real estate certificate from Chen Xianlin's hand, and then looked at it carefully. Upon closer inspection, you can see that there is a faint strip of gold wire embedded in the edge of the title deed. In order to prevent goofs, Yi Qingjue has done his homework a long time ago. And Zhang Xiaojia has been thinking about this Donghuan Villa area all day long, so she naturally has learned about it. The two were sure that the real estate certificate of the East Ring Villa in Chen Xianlin's hand turned out to be real. Zhang Xiaojia suddenly collapsed to the ground in fright. She never thought that Chen Xianlin would really buy a sky-high villa in the East Ring Villa district. I have lived with him for so many years, why haven't I found out? No matter how low-key it is, I haven't played like this. Obviously so rich, why should Chen Xianlin pretend to be poor in front of himself? It's over, it's completely over, and the villa that should have belonged to you flies like this. Zhang Xiaojia cried heartbreakingly. The legs that were limp on the ground didn't seem to be their own. I tried to stand up, but I couldn't do anything. So she crawled to the ground, pulled Chen Xianlin's calves tightly with both hands, and said aggrievedly, "Ah Lin, I know it's wrong, are we okay? I'm completely awake now. It's all to blame for me being confused for a while. No, it's Yi Qingju. He seduced me." At this time, Zhang Xiaojia's mind was in a mess, and she didn't even know what she was talking about. And Chen Xianlin is also completely sober at this moment. "Get out!" Pulled Zhang Xiaojia's hands that were holding his trouser legs hard, and then scolded him loudly. Yi Qingju was also particularly shocked when he saw all this. With his understanding, it is impossible for Chen Xianlin to buy a villa in the Donghuan Villa area. When Zhang Xiaojia was poached, it was precisely because he knew that Chen Xianlin was particularly poor. It was only because of this that he dared to attack Zhang Xiaojia. If he knew that he had bought a sky-high villa, he would not have provoked Zhang Xiaojia, causing him to be so embarrassed now. Although he can be regarded as an upper-class person who is not bad for money in his family, he really can't afford the sky-high villa. Therefore, the people who can buy sky-high villas must be very scary. However, what he didn't know was that the real estate certificate of this sky-high villa in Chen Xianlin's hand was given to him by Li Yan. The real terrifying person is also Li Yan. Do you really want to lose your old face here today? After a period of extreme fear, I suddenly remembered the task assigned to me by my father. If this big order is completed, what is a mere set of East Ring villas? Isn't that a matter of hand-to-hand capture? So he adjusted his embarrassed state, walked in front of Chen Xianlin, and said proudly, "Hee, you want my name to be pronounced backwards? Isn't it just a villa in the East Ring Villa area? Let me tell you, I'm going to meet a mysterious big customer soon. According to my dad, the big customer is also in the restaurant where we are now. That's a hero-level character. Didn't you just say that there was a Shenhao who bought all the villas in the East Ring Villa area? That is, this Shenhao bought. How's that? Aren't you already feeling scared? I'll admit that I really couldn't get the real estate certificate for the sky-high villa, but I won over the investor. We'll make a lot of money. What sky-high villa? Isn't it just a drizzle? So, Chen Xianlin, do you think you're going to win? The end result is that you, and I, will never be people of the same level. Ha ha ha. At that time, even if you have a villa, you won't even be worthy of lifting shoes for me. Hearing this, Su Xinran was surprised. Isn't this Yi Qingju's talking about Li Yi? There is no one else who can be described by Shenhao except him. Yi Qingju, a fool, I'm afraid he won't know that Li Yan is the high-ranking Shenhao investor, he said. At this time, Zhang Xiaojia got up from the ground and patted the dust on the skirt. Then he walked to Yi Qingju's side enchantingly and said cutely, "Brother Qingju, I was wrong. I was completely frightened by Chen Xianlin just now, so I said something nonsense. I will only be loyal to you in the future, and I will be obedient to whatever you say." Hearing Yi Qingju's words, Zhang Xiaojia was ready to abandon the darkness and turn to the light. I thought that Yi Qingju had won over the Shenhao investor. What was Chen Xianlin's villa in that district? Judging from the current situation, she will definitely not be able to get any benefits from Chen Xianlin. It's better to continue to please Yi Qingju. As long as he is happy, when his task is completed, he will inevitably have his own benefits. At this time, Li Yi and others couldn't help but sigh when they saw Zhang Xiaojia's play. It was really a wall grass, and the wind would fall wherever it blew. I just don't know what they will be like when they know that Li Yin is this god. Then Zhang Xiaojia yelled at Chen Xianlin and the others. Did you hear it? Isn't it just a villa? What's so strange? Just a villa is embarrassed to show off. After our green juice attracts investors, you will feel better. If you all roll in front of Qingju now, there is still a chance to kowtow and admit your mistakes, otherwise you won't want to continue to mix in huaxia in the future, so that you can't eat and walk around. Yi Qingju's handicapping by Zhang Xiaojia made it even more rampant. Pose tall and sit on the dining chair with your hands crossed and hovered over your chest. Crossing Erlang's legs, he began to smug and smiled evilly. Su Xinran just smiled. Let's not talk about whether Yi Qingju can win over investors. Even if she wins, what does it have to do with her Zhang Xiaojia? What good can a woman like Zhang Xiaojia, who has a wall grass and a gold worshipper label on her head, end? In the end, it just threw it in the trash like a toy that other people were tired of playing with. Chen Xianlin saw that Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia were both convinced by the fake real estate certificate that Li Yan had gotten. With curiosity, he took out his mobile phone and took a look at Baidu. See what the real title deed looks like in the real East Ring Villa area. Baidu took a look and saw that the picture displayed on the webpage was really exactly the same as the one in his hand. When he was about to close Baidu and quit the website, suddenly, I saw a title that taught how to distinguish the real estate certificate of the East Ring Villa district. Curiously clicked in. There are a few large lines of text on it. The real Sky High Villa real estate certificate in the East Ring Villa area. If you look closely at the edge, you can see that there is a gold wire inlaid inside. So he picked up the real estate certificate given to him by Li Yin in his hand and looked at it carefully, which startled him. Holy, is this Tima real? Chen Xianlin couldn't believe his eyes. Tsai carefully observed the real estate certificate in his hand over and over again. No matter how you check it and how you look at it, there is no doubt that this real estate certificate is real. His hands, holding the title deeds, began to shake violently. Originally thought that Li Yan was trying to pretend to be a force, and then went to get a fake real estate certificate in advance to cooperate with his acting. I never thought that this special horse turned out to be real. Suddenly, my heart shook. It turned out to be true, so where did Li Yan get this real estate certificate? According to Li Yan's conditions, he can't afford to buy such a sky-high villa at all. I clearly remember that when I had a video call with Li Yan a few days ago, he continued to stay in the ordinary-looking rental house. If it was bought by Li Yan, it would have only been a few days, and it would be impossible for this sky-high villa. Let's take a look at Su Xinran, who walked in with the real estate certificate just now. The whole body is full of brand goods. To say that this real estate certificate is Su Xinran's has 2 points of credibility. After all, it is not a famous brand that everyone wears. Could it be that Li Yan hugged his thigh? Chen Xianlin thought about it carefully. It's also impossible. He knows Li Yan very well. It stands to reason that Li Yan can rely on his handsome face to eat. But no matter how poor he is, even if he drinks the northwest wind, he will not rely on hugging other people's thighs and being a little white face to meet his material needs. Chen Xianlin's mind was suddenly in a mess, with a lot of questions, like a puppet who has lost his soul. Holding the sky-high real estate certificate in his hands trembled and he reached Li Yan's eyes. He said in a slurred manner, "Old Lao Li, you really tell me the truth, this title deed won't be yours." "Yes, it's mine." You're not kidding. The facts are in front of you, do you think it's a joke?" Li Yin's serious answer stunned Chen Xianlin. Stood still for a long time, in the same position, motionless. When did my brother, who has known each other for so many years, become so tyrant? And I don't even know it. The real estate certificate of a sky-high villa is something that I can't reach in my life. Li Yan actually took it out at random just to help himself make a scene. The whole person was directly cracked. It took a while for Chen Xianlin to recover from this fact. Then he wiped the real estate certificate in his hand with his hand, and then handed it to Li Yi, with a puzzled face. "Come on, thank you Lao Li, I'm pretending to be too desperate today. But I still haven't figured it out, it's only been a few days, how did you do it with a sky-high price villa?" Li Yan directly skipped Chen Xianlin's last sentence. Because he didn't know how to tell Chen Xianlin about the depreciation of prices. It's impossible to tell him that prices around the world have depreciated, and then he doesn't have any savings, so be it. Isn't that ridiculous? Because in the eyes of people other than Li Yan, there is no such thing as price depreciation. They have been living in this outrageously low world of prices and all kinds of social and economic prices until now. As before, Li Yan clenched his fist and hit Chen Xianlin's chest, and then said to him with a smile, "I've got you." Chen Xianlin opened his mouth half open, staring at Li Yan intently. The heart that hasn't recovered just now hasn't calmed down yet. And now there's a more fierce one. Hurry up, call me an ambulance. My heart was beating so fast that I couldn't breathe. The sky-high price of the villa is just like this. Sent me. I am also eligible to live in the East Ring Villa area. Li Yi, what a lottery you won. Too much money to spend at all. Chen Xianlin said that he couldn't accept Li Yan's gift for no reason. Hurriedly said, No, Lao Li, you. It's too precious for me to take it." As he spoke, he handed the real estate certificate to Li Yan. Li Yan didn't take it. "I originally planned to give it to Chen Xianlin. And after buying so many villas, I really can't live in it, so it's impossible to change places a day. I should repay you for blocking that baseball bat for me." Li Yan thought for a moment and said, "In this way, Chen Xianlin will not have any burden, and he feels that he owes himself these favors." Really? Seeing Li Yi say this, Chen Xianlin remembered what happened when he was in college. It's been so long, and he didn't expect Li Yi to remember it so clearly. It shows that Li Yi is still sorry for what happened back then. But that is not Li Yan's business at all. As his good brother, how can he not be saved when he dies? I also rushed forward voluntarily. Chen Xianlin was worried that if he didn't accept it, Li Yan was afraid that he would have to feel guilty about this matter for the rest of his life. So he didn't continue to struggle and accepted the title deed. Su Xinran, who was on the side, saw this directly, and her eyes almost bulged out. "I thought it was just to pretend to be a force, but it turned out to be just a casual gift." At this time, Yi Qingji got up from the dining chair. It's rare for him to talk nonsense with them here. "I don't know what the god my dad said looks like. So we have to act quickly and find Shenhao investors." The cruel words just now were also put out by themselves, if they didn't win over investors. Not only is this face embarrassing, but it will be even more difficult to know Shenhao's whereabouts next time. And if you don't succeed in winning the task that your father assigned to you, you will really have to support yourself in the future. This is no joke. When the time comes, I don't have any money in my body, so how can I tease my girl? Alright, it's a waste of time with you poor sour people, I'm going to do something big. After speaking, Yi Qingji looked proud. Zhang Xiaojia also followed closely behind him. Pose like you're on top. If he could know this god through Yi Qingju, wouldn't he have to show off everywhere? Brother Qingju, do you know what Shenhao looks like, or how old you are, do you know that? Zhang Xiaojia was very curious. It turned out to be a god, so he must be very old. After all, I have grown so big, and I have never heard of any gods who are young people. Yi Qingju's complexion was a little complicated. This is a tricky question indeed. How can we find this hero? The so-called Shenhao should be a person who wears high-end brand clothes and is full of luxury goods. And it should be a mature man who is slightly older. How can anyone know what he looks like with such a person at the level of Shenhao, but I know that he must be an old mature man. Yi Qingju said proudly. With so many people here, wouldn't it be embarrassing to say that you don't know anything? I'm also a face-saving person, okay. Su Xinran just smiled and didn't speak. Yi Qingju, this fool, can't Shenhao be a young man? But he's right about one thing. That is, Li Yi is indeed mature. The person who tried so hard to find it was right in front of him, but he didn't know it. What is the difference between this and being blind? Do you think it's possible that the Shenhao they say is a young and mature man like you? Su Xinran knocked on the side and said to Li Yan. It should also be a wake-up call for Yi Qingju, a blind man. But when they heard Su Xinran's words, Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia immediately laughed. You say if Shenhao is like him, what else can he have except a face worth 2 cents? Ha 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 ha. That is, if Li Yi can be regarded as a hero, then wouldn't we be the richest men in the world? Su Xinran smiled and shook her head. I said don't want to donate this brain. What is absolutely impossible in this world? Who stipulates that Shenhao cannot be a young man? It's all reminded like this, and if you don't change your mind, you'll definitely die ugly for a while. Yi Qingju's tofu scum brain suddenly seemed to be turned on now. I remembered that my father was able to find out Shenhao's whereabouts today, and he must be able to know what Shenhao is wearing today. Then he took out his mobile phone and dialed his father's number, and said proudly to Li Yi and others. I'm going to let you hear with your own ears today what Shenhao should be like. The phone is dialed. At this moment, Yi Qingju's mood was also very nervous. After a while, my father told me some details of Shenhao's outfits today, and he was about to meet with Shenhao. He was also very curious about whether the Shenhao-level characters were surrounded by several stout Han bodyguards in order to ensure the safety of Shenhao's life. Yi Qingji dialed the mobile phone and turned on the hands-free mode. I only heard the voice of a magnetic middle-aged man on the other side of the phone. According to the information I received, this god is a little too low-key, and there is not a single extravagant thing on his body. Today I should be wearing a casual outfit, with an off-white upper body and a pair of light-colored slacks and a pair of small white sneakers. When Zhang Xiaojia heard this, he set his eyes on Li Yi, who was standing not far away. This contrast. Impossible. It can't be a poor ghost like Li Yi. Her best friend Zhao Xia has been dating him for so many years, and she is also very clear. How can Li Yan be the Shenhao investor in Yi Qingju's mouth? Hurriedly and panically motioned for Yi Qingji to ask about his age. It's a young guy, probably in his 20s. Yi Qingju's father continued. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Xiaojia stared at Li Yong. Her strange and frightened appearance attracted Yi Qingju's attention. Then he also set his eyes on Li Yi. I kept circulating the words of my father in my head. Off-white top. Light-colored slacks. Little white sportswear. Young lad. Instantly, I felt like death was standing side by side with me. He meowed, it can't be Li Yi. No way, absolutely impossible. Yi Qingye hurriedly shook his head, and his steps fell backwards little by little. There must be a mistake. How could Shenhao be like Li Yi? This kind of outfit is not only worn by Li Yan alone. Anyway, it can be everyone, but it can't be the Li Yan in front of him. Yi Qingju's head seemed to be slammed by something at this time, causing his head to buzz. Comparing Li Yang with the various symptoms told by his father, it was completely consistent. He couldn't believe all this. If it was really Li Yan, he would immediately become a poor sour ghost who didn't touch a penny. I'm not like other sons and daughters who are treated as bodhisattvas in the family, and they have what they want. My daily pocket money is just a few insignificant soft sister coins. Otherwise, it would not have given Zhang Xiaojia a fake diamond necklace and a batch of restaurants that brought this kind of high-end but actually garbage. Others come to this kind of restaurant because they are low-key, and he comes to this kind of restaurant to pretend. Then he immediately ran out of the private room in a hurry and began to look around the entire restaurant. Hopefully I can find another person with the same characteristics that my father said. Seeing Yi Qingji running out of the private room, Zhang Xiaojia did not go out with him this time. Just continued to focus on Li Yan blankly, and didn't dare to escape at all. She also hopes that in this restaurant, Yi Qingju can find a second person who has these characteristics at the same time. But obviously this is a very unlikely thing. Chen Xianlin, who has been a partner with himself for more than 7 years, is so good at hiding, and now a sky-high villa has come out. She was very scared if Li Yan would be another person who would also hide his strength. And he is also a god who can be called the richest man in the world. Suddenly a thought flashed through me. Could Chen Xianlin's sky-high villa not be his, but a gift from Li Yin? Thinking of this, Zhang Xiaojia couldn't help but feel a chill behind her. Can casually give away a sky-high villa, that is definitely a miracle. But she still preferred to believe that the sky-high villa in Chen Xianlin's hand was his own. It wasn't given by Li Xiang. In this way, he lingered in self-paralysis for a long time. At this time, Chen Xianlin, who was beside Li Yan, was still confused, and he didn't know why Yi Qingji and Zhang Xiaojia had these inexplicable forms. It wasn't until Yi Qingju, who rushed in after looking around the restaurant again and again, didn't happen except for Li Yi, who could have these conditions at the same time, that Yi Qingju walked into the private room casually. Plop. Knelt down violently in front of Li Yan. When his knees collided with the hard floor, the sound was like thunder, and he suddenly swirled in the private room. God. Forgive my ignorance and vulgarity. Yi Qingju's words instantly made everyone understand. It turns out that Li Yan is the awesome god they say they are talking about. Chen Xianlin looked at Li Yan and retreated several steps in fright. Is this still the Li Yan he knows and knows? When did you become a god? It's no wonder that a sky-high villa just found a reason to stuff sugar and gave it to yourself. It turns out that this is not bad at all. If it is spread in the future, he will have a good brother at the level of a god. Then you have to wake up laughing if you don't have to dream. And Zhang Xiaojia also felt that the sense of crisis was slowly approaching him. If the Grim Reaper is standing next to Yi Qingju, then she is the one who is about to be taken away by the Grim Reaper. Because she not only offended the great god in front of her, but on the other hand, she was also a good girlfriend of Li Yi's ex-girlfriend. At the beginning, his best friend Zhao Xia betrayed Li Yi, and then ran away with the rich second generation. And Chen Xianlin is Li Yin's good brother. He betrayed his good brother again. This kind of exactly the same betrayal, if Li Yang touches the scene and counts all these 2 sins on himself, wouldn't it be death? However, it was clear that she was overthinking. 1 yard to 1 yard. For Zhao Xia's betrayal, Li Yan will not cheapen her and that Wang Baoqi. This account will take a long time, and he will slowly settle it in the future. What do you say that in ancient times men and women fornicated and hooked up with the husband of a woman? Li Yan said with a malicious face. Dip the pig cage. Ha ha ha, Su Xinran also replied very cooperatively. Zhang Xiaojia immediately ran to Li Yan like Yi Qingju, and knelt on the ground with a thud. The two knelt on the ground and began to tremble, constantly kowtowing to Li Yi and begging for mercy. Grandpa Shenhao, I will call you directly, please let me go, my father knows that I not only did not win over you, the Shenhao investor. I also offended you. If you don't give me pocket money, it's small, and if you want to peel my skin alive, it's big. Li Yan rolled his eyes instantly. You don't have pocket money, what does being skinned have to do with me? Could it be that if you call me Xingye, I will give you money to spend? And then help you beg for mercy? If that's okay, then I already have a lot of grandchildren. Anyway, it's already miserable enough if you don't have to do Yi Qingju, so don't waste time on him, it's not fun. Let the leaf green juice roll out. Yi Qingji was also obedient like a dog, and rolled out of the hall from the private room. On the other side, Li Yi set his eyes on Zhang Xiaojia. For him, that's really the most interesting thing. Zhang Xiaojia trembled even more after seeing Yi Qingju obediently get out. It's your turn. Thought to herself, as a girl, Li Yan shouldn't let her get out in such an embarrassment like Yi Qingju. If that's the case, it's better to die. If you are seen by acquaintances, you are a girl, how will you be a person in the future? Young master, it's none of my business that Zhao Xia betrayed you at the beginning. You can punish me however you want, don't put her share on me, I can't afford it. At this moment, she felt that the most important thing she needed to do was to lighten her sin. Out of previous concerns, Li Yan couldn't be allowed to count Zhao Xia's share on his head. So he immediately raised his head that was knocked on the ground, looked at Li Yan with an innocent face, and said. Hearing Zhang Xiaojia's words, Li Yi just sneered. Good guys, it's really hard to fly separately. This is in a hurry to immediately clear up the relationship with Zhao Xia. However, it is normal for a woman like Zhao Xia to have such a girlfriend, after all, they are born from the same root. Zhao Xia and Zhang Xiaojia grew up together since childhood, so it is normal for both of them to be like this. But it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that the two of them are best friends. Therefore, Zhang Xiaojia must be clear about everything about Zhao Xia. Rest assured, she is she and you are you. Li Yi bent down slightly, stretched out his right hand and lifted Zhang Xiaojia's lower forehead violently. Ill-intentioned reply caused Zhang Xiaojia's cheeks to turn red all of a sudden. She pursed her lips shyly, didn't dare to look directly at Li Yan, and slowly lowered her head. Regarding Li Yi's action, Zhang Xiaojia was a little confused. Could it be that he looked so good? And then let Li Yang take a fancy to himself. He raised his hands and touched his soft face. Hey, what a damn charm. If he had known Li Yan first, a hero, and started early, how could there be anything about Zhao Xia? This Zhao Xia is really, she doesn't know how to cherish it at all. I missed such an excellent person as Li Yi in vain. He is handsome, he is good, and the most important thing is that he is so powerful. Although Wang Baoqiang is also quite powerful, how can he compare with Li Yin? I don't know what she thought, she betrayed such a hero-level figure. Could it be that Zhao Xia is as unaware as herself? The partner who has been with him day and night for more than 7 years turned out to be a low-key local tyrant. Chen Xianlin is low-key, which causes him to lose his clumsiness, because he is nothing compared to Li Yi. But Zhao Xia, this is a typical big loss due to a small one. Damn, what a stupid woman. Su Xinran, who was silently watching all this from the side, stomped her feet angrily at this time. In the days that I have been with Li Yi, I haven't even touched one of his fingernails, but Zhang Xiaojia is lucky enough to touch his hand. It was Li Yan who took the initiative to reach up. Damn, what does it feel? The hand is not slippery, soft or not. Growing so big, I have never envied any woman. But except for now. I really envy Zhang Xiaojia so much. If only it was himself who knelt there just now. After Zhang Xiaojia thought about it for a while, she raised her head and smiled at Li Yi with a shy idiot. Then she continued to take out her set of spoiled women's best thoughts and continued. Brother Li Yan, people really know that it's wrong, can you spare me? As long as you are willing to let me go, I can do anything. It's a pity that Li Yan doesn't eat coquettish at all. Or maybe it's different from person to person. Anyway, Zhang Xiaojia made him feel very disgusted like this. But Zhang Xiaojia's last sentence is exactly the result that Li Yang wants. That's what you're waiting for. The corners of Li Yan's mouth rose slightly, and he picked up a tissue from the dining table and wiped the hand that lifted Zhang Xiaojia just now. Showed a satisfied smile, snapped his fingers, and then pointed at Zhang Xiaojia and said. Chen Xianlin felt a little strange. What does Li Yan want Zhang Xiaojia to do? It won't be to use her as a pawn, let her ventilate Li Yin about all the movements of Zhao Xia. What else could there be? The relationship between Zhang Xiaojia and Zhao Xia can be said to be very suitable for this. Sure enough, he deserves to be a good brother for many years. I understand it too well. Li Yong is also this idea. But it's not that I want to know everything about Zhao Xia. What she is doing now, whether she is happy or not, has nothing to do with Li Yi. Li Yan just wants to know the whereabouts of the 2 dogs and men, and when he has time, he must go and meet them properly. You. What do you want me to do? Zhang Xiaojia replied tremblingly. She didn't expect that she was just saying it casually, wanting Li Yan to let her go. Who knew that it happened to talk about Li Yi's heart? Who understands this? If Li Yan let himself learn to bark in front of the public, or do something embarrassing in front of many people. What's the difference between that and Yiqing juice rolling out of the restaurant? Damn, I really want to smack myself in the mouth. Why do you want to say that you can do anything? Why do you owe it so much? I don't need you to do anything, it's very simple, give me an undercover. Zhang Xiaojia said that he didn't understand Li Yi's words. Li Yan continued to explain. In the future, tell me as soon as you know Zhao Xia's whereabouts, especially when Wang Baoqi is also with her. A good job is indispensable for your benefits. Zhang Xiaojia instantly understood, isn't it just such a trivial matter, it is too simple for her. And there are benefits, if you casually throw yourself a dime, then you will get rich. Good, good, wrap it around me. Then he patted his chest, looking confident. Get up from the ground and prepare to leave. But because I knelt for too long, my legs shook when I stood up. The idea of wanting to flee as soon as possible is also particularly strong at this moment. So he limped out of the private room with his already numb legs. At this time, only Li Yan, Su Xinran, and Chen Xianlin were left in the private room. The show is over. Looking at the time again, it's almost time for lunch. It just so happened that the waiter stepped forward and asked if he needed to order food now. Li Yi said that he did not need it. It's not that this restaurant is more collapsed. But through Yiqingju's toss with Zhang Xiaojia, even if it is a high-end restaurant, there is no need to be interested in staying here. Not to mention that eating is such an important event. I must find a comfortable place. Xianlin, our brothers may not have sat together and chatted for a long time. Let's go, let's find a place to eat and catch up casually. In the same way, Xinran, you can recommend where to eat. Su Xinran's excited music blossomed, Li Yi and his brother reminisced, can you bring yourself? And Li Yi actually called himself so intimately again. Cut, what is it that Zhang Xiaojia touched Li Yan's hand? What is there to envy, he is the happiest person. Later, Su Xinran arranged for a driver to take them to the next restaurant. Ferrari supercar on luxury cars. In the past, Su Xinran and Li Yan sat together in the back seat. But because there were 3 people traveling with her this time, Su Xinran, as the only woman, sat in the co-pilot's seat. Li Yong and Chen Xianlin sat in the back row. After getting into the car, Chen Xianlin was particularly careful to sit on the Ferrari luxury car and did not dare to move. I'm afraid that I will accidentally bump this Ferrari luxury car into it for a while. Then I really can't afford to lose my life. At this moment, he really understands what it means to sit on 1,000 thousands. Sitting on a luxury car chair, this is called sitting on 1,000 times. I didn't expect that I would have this blessing in this life, it's worth it. Laoli, you were too domineering just now. Today is just a small scene, you haven't seen Li Yan more domineering. It can be said that one person is directly banned in the entire industry. Damn, so you're really a god. Not necessarily, maybe the richest man in the world, ha ha ha. Li Yi, ha ha ha. The 3 of them chatted happily in the Ferrari. However, what Su Xinran said just now is quite right. Li Yan is indeed the richest man in the world, and he is a person who is far more than the richest man before. But this matter is only known to Li Yan himself. Because he knows best how much he has in savings, plus the list of the world's richest people he accidentally saw on his phone last time. Amid the laughter of the trio, the Ferrari finally arrived in another restaurant. The 3 of them entered the restaurant and began to order. Li Yan asked the waiter to bring 2 menus. Handed it to Su Xinran and Chen Xianlin respectively. Su Xinran looked at the menu carefully and ordered several dishes that Li Yan loved to eat. On the other side, Chen Xianlin just looked at the menu in his hand stupidly, and he didn't order a dish for a long time. After Su Xinran ordered the food, she closed the menu book and handed it to the waiter standing aside. Set his sights on Li Yong. The dishes I ordered just now are all Li Yan's favorite food. He must have thought he was doing a good job. Su Xinran propped her arms on the dining table, and wrapped her little face in her palm. How about it, Li Yan, I'm doing a good job. Isn't it very good? Looked at Li Yan with anticipation and said mischievously. Like a child who has scored 100 points in the test, waiting to be praised. Seeing that Li Yan did not reply to himself, but looked at Chen Xianlin on the side. Then he turned his gaze to Chen Xianlin. What's the matter, Xianlin, isn't it appetizing? Why don't we change it? Li Yan saw that Chen Xianlin was a little hesitant when he looked at the menu, so he asked. Chen Xianlin, who was still in a daze, heard Li Yi calling himself, and suddenly came back to his senses. Oh, no Lao Li, I just see the price of each dish on it. Isn't it too expensive? Chen Xianlin looked at the prices on the menu, which really surprised his people with a monthly salary of only a few cents. The cheapest dish of cold cucumber costs 0, **. 12. A plate of cucumbers costs a day's wages. It's not eating, it's robbing. Don't worry, I'm a god, do I still need this little money? Li said to Chen Xianlin with a hippie smile. Chen Xianlin, ha ha ha, too, my good brother is a god. Only then did I carefully pick up the menu and order. After the three of them finished dinner, it meant that it was time to part ways. Li Yin said goodbye to Chen Xianlin. Chen Xianlin also reluctantly said goodbye to him. Because I don't know when the next meeting will be. After Su Xinran and the driver sent Li Yi home, they also returned to their own. Li Yan returned to the villa with a sea view. Seeing the clean and tidy house, I couldn't help but sigh that Su Xinran really did a great job. I just don't know if my bedroom will be cleaned and arranged as I think. Li Yan walked to the door with anticipation and opened the door of his bedroom. At this moment, he just wanted Su Xinran to appear in front of him immediately. Must praise her fiercely. Li Yan picked up his mobile phone and began to call Su Xinran. Once the call is connected. Hey, what's wrong? You've just been separated for a while, and you're starting to miss me. Speaking of this, Su Xinran began to giggle. Hearing this, Li Yan was a little helpless. This girl is really good at flirting after getting along for a long time. But when I saw that most of my bedroom was full of pink decorations, I instantly felt that she had some serious illness. A boy, the general style of the bedroom is decorated in pink. Which real man can stand this? My bedroom. Are you sure it's set up for me to rest? Su Xinran's giggles were several times louder than before. Like a crazy old woman. Boys can also be pink and tender, and besides, if you lie down and try it, maybe you will like it in the future, ha 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 ha. In the face of Su Xinran's teasing, Li Yan almost vomited blood without anger. Gritted his teeth, then took a deep breath, and it was rare to deal with her. And is she the only one who can flirt? With a wicked smile on his face, he then pointed the mobile phone talking hole to his mouth. Said softly. The pink bedroom is really good looking, but without you, I can't like the best bedroom. After listening to Li Yi's words, Su Xinran's ears suddenly crisped. Both cheeks are like blushing. It's just that this blush is a little too violent. More noticeable than the usual blush color. The sound enters the ears and spreads to the head, hands, legs, and every cell in the body. Then a trace of warmth instantly poured into the whole body. Obviously it was a cloudy day, it should be quite cool. Why do you feel so hot? Damn, this feeling, Su Xinran said that it was the first time to feel it. I thought I was sultry enough. I didn't expect this Li Yan to provoke people and be directly not human. Straight numb. Seeing that Su Xinran was on the other end of the phone and couldn't spit out a word, Li Yin said that he was relieved. Then the roles were reversed. He started laughing. Su Xinran was so happy to hear Li Yan laughing, and she also showed a sweet smile on her red and hot little face. This is the first time she has heard Li Yin laugh so happily since she and Li Yi have been together for so long. Usually, except for sneering, it is a smile. Looking at it this way, he is the biggest hero. So this pink bedroom decoration style seems to be right. Alright, I'll come over tomorrow and get it for you again. Su Xinran slowed down for a while before saying this. In the few minutes before this, she was teased by Li Yong, so that she really didn't know what to say. Even now, I really can't think of anything else. That's all I can say, and then change the subject. She admitted that she really couldn't flirt with Li Yin. Let's throw up our hands and surrender. After saying that, the two hung up the phone after saying goodnight to each other and fell asleep. Early the next morning, Su Xinran, who had just gotten up, encountered a very tricky thing. That's a girl she knew when she used to study abroad and suddenly sent a message today. Hello, it's been a long time, I've come to your city, meet me. People who haven't been in contact with it once in a year suddenly send a message today. Sushinran knew very well that the other party must not be good this time. The girl who sent the message was a female student in the same class she met when her family sent Sushinran to study abroad. Her name is Nanovich, and she is a foreign girl. When she was studying abroad, Nanovich was particularly jealous of Sushinran. Because Sushinran can change into a set of different brands of clothes, bags, and jewelry every day. Nanovich's family is also considered a wealthy family abroad. But compared with Sushinran, a foreign student, she can't change different brands of clothes and jewelry every day like Sushinran. Use high-end atmospheric and high-grade skin care products. It's very simple, because it can't compare to Sushinran. In addition, Sushinran is the designated goddess of many boys in the school. For this reason, she was even more unconvinced. The comparison between Nanovich and Sushinran is not much different. It can be said that the two are comparable. But at school, Nanovich's popularity is not as high as Sushinran's. As a result, Nanovich regarded Sushinran as an opponent and liked to compare everything with Sushinran. But if there is one thing that can compare to Sushinran, even if it is a rare flower in grass, as long as Sushinran doesn't have it, she has to show it off vigorously. Therefore, Sushinran could clearly feel that Nanovich flew all the way to his city this time. That must have caught something very worthy of her bragging about. And he also took a special shot, and he definitely didn't have it. I just don't know what Nanovich is going to show off to himself this time. It's really a good sentence. The weasel must have no good intentions when he greets the chickens. Sushinran felt a little speechless. There are many girls in this world who are better than herself. I love to find someone else. Why does Nanovich have to hold on to himself and refuse to give up? But when I thought about it, no matter how Nanovich flew from far away. The ancients. It's a pleasure to have friends from afar. Let's not talk about whether Gao is happy or not, and you can't avoid it out of politeness. This is what her upbringing told her. And hiding from it is like being afraid of others. She's not a timid person. So Sushinran decided to go out to meet and just fool around. When you pick up your phone again and prepare to reply. Another message from Nanovich. Introduce you to someone, my boyfriend. Seeing this, Sushinran realized that she flew all the way over to show off her boyfriend. What a big speechlessness. Is it so idle? What is there to show off for a boyfriend? But it's true that I don't have it. Sushinran felt a little distressed. If you go to the appointment alone, you can't be made fun of. She is the daughter of a rich family. If you are not poor, you can only eat dog food. It's time like this, and I can only hold on to it temporarily. But who can you find to be your boyfriend now? According to Sushinran, a girl who is excellent in all aspects, she is not a bad pursuer, but she was rejected by Sushinran one by one. So now there is simply no one who can be found to be her boyfriend. Although she can now post a circle of friends casually, and then there will be many boys who volunteer to go to the soup for her. But Sushinran didn't want to do that. She had no interest in those who coveted her beauty or her money, her family, and so on. Even having a boyfriend who makes them pretend to be there one day is disgusting. Just when Sushinran was still crazy about this, Li Yan sent a message. Miss Su, what about readjusting the bedroom for me today? I have to say, God is really helping himself. I'm worried that I can't find the right person. Isn't that what happened? That's right, it's Li Yi. Nanovich just wants to show off to herself how good and handsome her boyfriend is. If Li Yi is willing to help himself with this, then what is it like? No matter what aspect, Li Yi must be slightly better in all aspects. But the key question is, will Li Yi be willing to be his boyfriend for a day? This is a tricky question indeed. Sushinran picked up her phone and replied quickly. Okay, young Master Li, I'll be there soon. After replying to Li Yan's message, Sushinran began to dress up carefully. After a while, I will help Li Yi redeploy the bedroom. I have to go to Nanovich's appointment. And if Li Yan is willing to help him for a while, Li Yan doesn't need to dress up at all, just sitting there is a beautiful scenery. So I have to dress up beautifully, and I can't lose to Nanovich. It is bound to suppress the audience together with Li Yin. Soon Sushinran packed up and went to the East Ring Villa area. Came to the gate of Li Yan's Seaview Villa. Looking at the inside of Li Yan's villa from outside the gate, it was still as quiet as ever. Su Xinran shuddered. What kind of cleaning ants, janitors, and environmental protection personnel who prune flowers and plants? There is none of them in Li Yan's huge villa. Later, Su Xinran asked the driver to arrange a group of reliable people to come over and give Li Yan as a housekeeper in the future. And Su Xinran still has a careful thought at this time. That is to please Li Yan first, and it can be regarded as a foreshadowing for himself to let him act as a fake boyfriend for a day. However, what Su Xinran didn't know was Li Yan is not unrecruiting. It's because of mistrust. His current worth cannot be underestimated. If you casually recruit some chaotic people in, you are afraid that you will become a thorn in the side of those with evil intentions. It's not like Li Yan thinks much about it. There are many ill-intentioned people in this world. When jealousy reaches a point that ordinary people can't bear by themselves, then it also means that they will do something unimaginable to ordinary people. Ding dong. Li Yan opened the door. I see that your villa is very deserted, and it is so big, it is not convenient to clean it usually, so I found you a few reliable families. It's good to come up and clean you every day. Isn't that really impressive? Su Xinran said excitedly. However, Li Yi's gaze at Su Xinran at this time was just stupid. In his opinion, today's Su Xinran is more charming than usual. Wearing a lilac white gauze dress, simple and elegant, charming and graceful, the elegant jade face is often painted with light plum blossom makeup. The original clear and beautiful face faded because she had become a woman, and the immature youth showed a trace of charm, seducing the soul. It wasn't until Su Xinran shook her hand in front of his eyes that he came back to his senses. Then he replied. Not bad, but not too much. He still believes in Su Xinran's efficiency. The people she was looking for were definitely much better than the people she was looking for. After the two of them entered the villa room with a sea view, Su Xinran did not immediately bring up the matter of pretending to be a boyfriend. Instead, he went to redeploy Li Yan's bedroom first. After a while, Su Xinran had already rearranged Li Yan's bedroom. He walked out of the bedroom and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Li Yan poured a glass of water and handed it to Su Xinran, and then said, Good work. It's not hard, it's hard. Maybe because of the relationship with Li Yin for a long time, Su Xinran is now very naughty. Regarding Su Xinran's answer, Li Yi was a little speechless. Obviously, she first decorated the bedroom of one of her older boys in pink. Why is it still beating up now? Obviously, it is the people who should say that their lives are miserable, and they should be themselves. Li Yan walked into the bedroom. This one-of-a-kind decor looks luxurious but not vulgar. So he nodded with satisfaction. At this time, Su Xinran was making a nervous split on the sofa. All I was thinking about was how to tell Li Yin about pretending to be her boyfriend for a day. Li Yan happily walked out of the bedroom, just in time to see Su Xinran, who was worrying on the sofa. So he stepped forward and sat opposite Su Xinran, and then said, What's the matter? There's something on my mind. Su Xinran, who was still nervous, was suddenly startled like a child who had done something bad after hearing Li Yin's voice. It causes the heart to beat at once. There was nowhere to put the little hands that were in a hurry. In the end, the pink little hand grabbed the cushion in the corner of the sofa so hard that it couldn't be done, and I didn't know how to say it nervously. But seeing that the time agreed with Nanovic was about to come. If you don't say anything, it's too late. After a moment's hesitation, he let go of the couch cushion he was holding, and then took a deep breath. Put your hands on your lap and reply hesitantly. I think. You. Forget it, nothing. As soon as it came to her mouth, Su Xinran still couldn't say it. Compared with the difficult thing that Li Yan said to let him pretend to be his boyfriend for a day, she suddenly felt that it was much easier for her to face Nanovic alone. The big deal is to be fed dog food and then teased by Nanovic for a while. And if this kind of thing is said, if Li Yan refuses, the atmosphere will be even more embarrassing. I don't even know how it will end when the time comes. Although she had been cheering herself on repeatedly when she came, I was also mentally prepared. But when it really came to this time, she still couldn't speak. Li Yan felt a little strange when he saw Su Xinran so abnormal. What the hell is going on? Is it so hard to talk about? This feeling of not talking about it in the middle of the sentence is really a headache. It's inevitable that it's too appetizing. You say, it's over in the middle of the sentence, what is that? Li Yan looked at Su Xinran suspiciously and said. This atmosphere made him anxious at the moment. Seeing that Li Yan's face was obviously a little unsightly, Su Xinran became even more flustered. So he gritted his teeth, twisted his head to the side, turned his back to Li Yan, clenched his fists, and then mustered up his courage. His eyes were tightly closed, and he replied with a bang. I want you to pretend to be my boyfriend for the day. After saying this, Su Xinran really wanted to escape from this place at the moment, at least a little away from Li Yan. She was eager to find a crack in the ground to get into. The incident itself is humiliating. It's all adult girls in their 20s, and it's all about the temporary scrambling for the exam. Now even a boyfriend has to find a temporary one. The key temporary ones are also forgotten, and I am still looking for Li Yi. This is a god-level character, would he be willing to sacrifice himself to do such a boring thing? Seeing that Li Yan didn't answer for a long time, Su Xinran just lowered her head and sighed silently. It also confirmed her psychological preparation before coming. Li Yan was not interested in such boring things at all. So naturally, I will not agree to such an unreasonable idea. But when she was about to give up this idea and prepare to go to the appointment alone, Li Yan responded to her. For this day alone, you have to charge a lot of money. Hearing Li Yan's words, Su Xinran couldn't believe her ears. Damn. Li Yan actually promised himself like this. She knew that the second half of Li Yan's sentence was to make fun of herself. And on the other hand, it is to add a little fun to this awkward atmosphere. None of that matters, though. The first half of the sentence is the most important to her. And the reason why Li Yan agreed to Su Xinran was because she did help herself a lot. There are even times when she doesn't need to say something herself, so she takes the initiative to do it for herself. And the final efficiency is very good. It's just a fake boyfriend for a day, and there will be no shortage of pounds or two. Just came forward, so he agreed to Su Xinran. At this time, Su Xinran was already standing happily on the sofa and jumped up happily. When Li Yan saw Su Xinran's stupid appearance, he couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Su Xinran was a little overjoyed all of a sudden, not because she had a suitable fake male partner. It's because Li Yan actually agreed to be his boyfriend for a day. After bouncing on the couch for a while, I picked up my phone and looked at the time. There was still an hour before the time he and Nanovic had agreed. Damn, it's too late to act. Seeing that Su Xinran had already dressed up, Li Yan also began to get up and act. But when he came to the bedroom, he found that he didn't seem to have any formal clothes. So he asked Su Xinran to go to the appointment first, saying that he would go to buy clothes and be there in a while. Seeing that the time is too late, it can only be like this. Then Su Xinran went to the place agreed with Nanovic. Lanting Chinese and Western restaurant. Su Xinran has arrived at her destination. I looked at the time again, and it was no more than the agreed time, just right. Yo, it's the same as when I was in college. The one who spoke was Nanovich. She wore a dark green suit with a cinched waist. The eyes are clear, the eyebrows are trimmed. And the nose is trimmed, and the cheeks are slightly pared. The complexion is very white, and the nose is slightly higher than that of ordinary women. There is a faint blue feeling of sea water in the eyes. At this time, she had just arrived for a while, and was asking at the front desk if there was a good private room. After seeing Su Xinran, he stepped forward and said in a weird manner. Didn't you just arrive? Su Xinran replied with a lazy expression. And she was a student who loved learning when she was in college, how could she step on it? The stepping point that Nanovic said was nothing more than because every time he entered the teaching building, Nanovic could bump into him. What is this called stepping point? Do you meet her every day just to step on the spot? Is it because you have a bad brain or you have nothing to do? If you want to say that, I'm afraid it wouldn't be for Nanovic to imitate herself, and then go to the morning reading at the same time as herself every day. Nanovic was stunned by Su Xinran's sentence, and subconsciously dodged the topic in embarrassment. Because Su Xinran is indeed right. Then Nanovic looked around Su Xinran and found that Su Xinran was actually alone. At this moment, my heart suddenly felt a lot more relaxed. This time, she brought her boyfriend. And this boyfriend of hers is not an ordinary person. Her boyfriend, like Su Shinran, is from the same city. And also a well-known local veteran. Nanovic met him by chance during a trip abroad. His name is Zhou Jun. Zhou Jun's family has been a soldier for generations. The family conditions are also quite good. And the person is also very handsome. The body is also very strong. What 8-pack abs, muscles are things that exist in him all the time. The boyfriend is full of power. So when I saw Su Shinran going to the meeting single-handedly, I couldn't help but be very happy. Yo, or alone. Cut, what's the use of looking good? I'm not single yet, ha 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 ha. I remember that there were quite a lot of people who pursued you at the beginning, but in the end, they found out that you weren't really that good, and then they gave up halfway. Nanovic sneered at Su Shinran. And that's what she expected. She had already guessed that Su Shinran would not have a boyfriend. Before she came, she also fantasized that even if Su Shinran had a boyfriend, it would be fine. Anyway, ordinary people really can't compare to her boyfriend's powerful military boyfriend. Now this fantasy does not exist, which means that she can show off her boyfriend Zhou Jun with all her strength for a while. Let Su Shinran know that she is now a military wife. Life is quite happy. She can't compare. However, Su Shinran didn't want to compare with her at all, and she only came to the meeting out of politeness. As for asking Li Yi to cooperate with his fake boyfriend, he just didn't want to come out to eat their dog food, that's all. In the face of Nanovic's ridicule, Su Shinran only smiled and did not speak. It's good that she doesn't have a boyfriend, but she has a god-level friend. Although Li Yan is just acting as a fake boyfriend for himself for a day today, what if the fake is real? It's her Nanovich, not herself, who likes to compare so much, so this time Nanovich will be convinced. Subsequently, Zhou Jun, who was buying water outside, returned. As soon as he stepped forward, he put his arms around Nanovic's waist. Then unscrew the water in his hand and feed it to Nanovich to drink. Nanovic glanced at Su Shinran and immediately changed back to the appearance of a little milk cat. Said to Zhou Jun in a milky voice. Oops, what are you doing? My friend is here, but he is single, so don't feed the dog food. Come, Shinran, let me introduce you, this is my military boyfriend Zhou Jun. Zhou Jun, this is my female college classmate, Su Shinran. Saying that, Nanovich took Su Shinran's hand, and then introduced Zhou Jun. This is true, which makes Su Shinran feel very disgusted. Shinran, it was the first time she had heard Nanovic call herself like this. When Nanovich called out these two words, Su Shinran thought that her young ears were not good. After Nanovich's introduction, Zhou Jun also politely replied to Su Shinran, Hello, my name is Zhou Jun, it's a pleasure to meet you. Su Shinran also smiled and nodded. This week, the army didn't have the feeling of looking down on people. Is worthy of being a soldier, and the etiquette that should be there has not been left behind. But she felt a little strange. With a person like Nanovic, how did Zhou Jun fall in love with her? Su Shinran looked at Nanovic, then at Zhou Jun, and then shook his head. Sighed in my heart, sure enough, he is a great soldier, who is sacrificing himself all the time to eliminate harm for the people. Because this Lanting Chinese and Western restaurant is too popular. Nanovic waited at the front desk for a while. The waiter stepped forward and said, Hello, VIP, the only private room we have here was booked by a gentleman 2 minutes ago. You can choose from other private rooms that are more upscale. However, Nanovic was instantly furious when he heard the waiter's words. I've been waiting in line here for a long time. At the beginning, I wanted to have a good private room. Now I tell myself that the best private room has been booked. Why? It's not that I can't afford to open money. Nanovic was a little speechless. Isn't this deliberately trying to make yourself look down upon in front of Su Shinran? Su Shinran, who made an appointment by herself, came out, but she ended up in a high-class private room. How did you do it? I asked for it first, and now you're telling me it's been booked. Nanovich raised his brow and scolded the waiter fiercely. Zhou Jun on the side saw it and pulled the corner of her clothes. Forget it. It's the same in any private room, it's just a meal. But Nanovic is even hotter at the moment. Even Zhou Jun didn't help himself speak. Isn't this a bit of an unreasonable mess? But this is obviously a problem with the waiter. the waiter only patiently explained with a smile in the face of Nanovik's scolding. This lady, yes, we only have a good private room in the restaurant, but we don't pay attention to the principle of first come, first served. Rather, before the meal time in our restaurant, the highest price wins. So, 2 minutes ago, a gentleman had already booked this private room for a dime. If you are willing to pay more than this gentleman, we will also book this private room for you. Hearing this, Nanovik had a feeling. It seems that he is not even eating, but seems to have come to the auction. This waiter is too, don't you see that Sushinran is also here? Why do you say it in front of her? It's not to order it yourself now, and it's not to order it if you don't order it. If you don't order it, you will definitely be looked down upon by Sushinran again. I can't even get a dime or more. But order it, although this dime will not have any impact on yourself, it is also a whole dime. It's enough to travel here for a while. Harm, what a brainless waiter. I don't have any eyesight at all. That's it, just today, in front of Sushinran, I have to have enough face. After a moment of hesitation, Nanovich put on a very tall look and said to the waiter, "Isn't it just a dime, okay? I'll pay 2 cents. Hurry up and take us to a good private room." After finishing speaking, he set his eyes on Sushinran. "Show off your prestige." There was a smug look on his face. As if to say, what, being rich is capricious. Sushinran saw that her face was just disgusted, and then rolled her eyes. "I have to hesitate for a long time for 2 cents, what is there to be proud of? It's like I can't get these 2 cents out of it." Waiter, "Okay ma'am, I'll inform the gentleman just now." "Nanovik, it's a hassle to eat." Then the waiter looked a little strange after answering the phone. I saw that her hand that put down the phone was shaking. It was as if something terrible had happened, and I was in a daze. Seeing this, Nanovik's patience was also exhausted. Slap his hand the table in front of the waiter. Then he said extremely unpleasantly, Hey, what are you doing? The old lady's stomach is growling with hunger, do you still have the heart to be in a daze here? Why don't you take me to the best private room for dinner, what are you waiting for?" Nanovich was so loud and noisy that the waiter came back to his senses. He shook his head, then slapped himself again. This special meow is not a dream, it is a real thing that happens to work in the store. Someone actually paid $1. Just to book a good private room. After going to work for so long, I originally thought that booking a good private room for a dime was already the most extravagant person. Unexpectedly, the most extravagant thing was to book a private room. For a whole $1. The waiter said that he couldn't figure it out. Seeing that Nanovich was so impatient, he replied, "In a hurry. I'm sorry, I was just scared and this gentleman didn't cancel the reservation. It's on top of your 2 cents, and he raises the price again." When Nanovich heard this, his heart suddenly felt strong. What kind of person is it, who dares to raise the price and compete with himself for this private room? It's really bad luck today. It's no wonder that I met Sushinran. As soon as I met her, all the bad things came out. And this mysterious gentleman, is he so fond of raising prices? Then I'm going to show you what strength is today. Okay, then I'll give a dime soft girl coin. Nanovich looked at the waiter, the corners of his mouth raised, and his little feet were still slapping on the ground proudly. She has already gritted her teeth and pulled out a corner of the sky-high soft girl coin, thinking that the other party must not have the strength to continue to raise the price now. It's a pity that what she doesn't know is that the clown turned out to be herself in the end. When the waiter heard Nanovik's offer, his little face was embarrassed and a little ugly. Of course, this embarrassment of hers was an embarrassment for Nanovich. What's wrong with? Again. This time Nanovich was not impatient. She felt that the waiter must have been stupefied by the sky-high price of the dime she paid for the soft girl coin. It's really a little girl who has never seen the world. That's what a dime of soft sister coins looks like. If she raised the price of 6 or 7 corners, wouldn't she have to faint on the spot? Then he revealed the bracelet worth a dime on his wrist. Pretended to be a little uncomfortable in his wrist, and then shook it from the waiter's eyes to Sushinran's front and stopped. Hey, why is it so uncomfortable to wear a bracelet worth a dime of soft girl coins now? Then she lifted her hand and pulled the hair from her ear, revealing her emerald green gemstone earrings and continuing. And this emerald, but it cost me more than 2 dimes of soft sister coins, how can it be so uncomfortable to carry? Why do you say this? Sister Shinran. In the face of Nanovik's brainless show-off, Su Shinran did not make any answer. Just sighed and shook his head. Isn't it just a piece of jewelry with 2 corners? Is there anything to show off about this? Any accessory pendant on her body is several times more expensive than Nanovich's. Nanovich isn't going to stay in college, is he? At that time, the jewelry on his body was about the same price as what Nanovich wears now. Doesn't she know that people are constantly growing, and the economy is also increasing? It's really embarrassing to die, thinking that spending a dime to set a private room at a high price is the dragon and phoenix among people. At this time, the waiter stepped forward and replied embarrassedly. Ma'am, that gentleman's bid is. It's $1. When he said this, the waiter swallowed several mouthfuls of saliva, feeling pressured to say it. At the same time, he was embarrassed and ridiculous for Nanovik's arrogance. Nanovich, who was still arrogantly showing off to Su Shinran on the side, instantly froze with a smug smile on his face after hearing this. What? Then he turned to the waiter and asked in surprise. At this time, she had no face, and when she spoke, she was too surprised and sprayed the waiter's face with saliva. The waiter picked up a tissue in disgust and wiped his face several times, and then his previous respectful attitude changed instantly. An extremely unhappy reply. That's right, it's just $1. Do you love the other private rooms? Nanovich took a few steps back in fright, and Jo Jun was afraid that she would fall, so he stepped forward to help her. She turned her head to look at Jo Jun. Mada, he hasn't started to show off Jo Jun to Su Shinran yet. How did you lose such a big face before this? No, Nanovich said he was a little unwilling. Then he began to comfort himself with the loss of face. If you lose face, you will lose face. What's so strange, who hasn't lost face once in this life? And it's a big deal to lose a private room, this is nothing. Fortunately, even if someone books this private room at a high price, it has nothing to do with Su Shinran. Besides, it's a big deal to lose a private room, and this is nothing. A person's abilities can be big and small. Although I didn't win this private room in the end, I shouted the price to a whole dime of soft sister coins. So in fact, in front of Su Shinran, no matter how you look at yourself, you are still slightly better than her. After a messy self-soothing meal, Nanovich suddenly straightened her back and acted as if nothing had happened. Continue to say with an arrogant face. Everyone's abilities are limited, and I won't fight with that mysterious gentleman. Maybe someone else really needs this private room. What is important to raise the price so high? Let's go to the other private rooms to eat. Today you will not be blessed to enjoy this good private room I originally wanted to bring you, Sister Shinran. And Su Shinran didn't pay attention to Nanovich, but a sweet smile appeared on her face. Because she knows. $1. Who else dares to make such a bold move? No, it should be said that who else can there be besides Li Yi? And Li Yan hasn't come forward until now, so it must be him. Sure enough, the important big names were the last to appear and then crush the audience. When the waiter was taking Nanovich to the other private rooms, Li Yan walked into the restaurant. Hello sir, are you going to have a meal or are you looking for someone? What is your last name? Seeing the handsome pot Li Yin, the waiter stepped forward and smashed all the crackling questions at Li Yin. Just to be able to talk to Li Yan more. Li said that he was a little speechless, and asked so many questions at the same time. How can I answer? Li. Then Li Yan reported his surname. The front desk attendant who was giving directions to Nanovich heard it and hurriedly put down everything he was doing. Hurriedly ran towards Li Yan. Then he said excitedly. Hello, sir, are you the one who paid $1 to book a good private room? Li Yan nodded slightly. Nanovich is also very curious about what the person who has been raising prices with him looks like. At first she was a little confused. The waitress who was giving her directions suddenly ran back. I didn't understand until I heard the conversation between the two in the direction where the waiter was running. It turned out that the big man came. No wonder, let's just say, how can the waiter's service attitude of this high-end restaurant be like this? When she saw that the mysterious person who was raising the price with her behind her back turned out to be a man who was more than 8 feet tall and more handsome than Jo Jun. It was As if there was a towering mountain of gold and silver in front of him, and suddenly his eyes lit up. At this moment, she suddenly began to fantasize if the handsome and golden man in front of her was her boyfriend. How envious Su Xinran should be. He must live in this city in the future, and then take him to show off in front of Su Xinran every day. But obviously, this kind of thing can only be imagined. At this time, when Su Xinran saw Li Yin, she was also deeply attracted by his extraordinarily handsome dress today. I saw that he was wearing a black coat on his upper body, which was wide open, revealing the brown casual clothes inside, and the clothes were flying. The lower body is black trousers, clean and straight. The body is slender, and the broken hair is scattered on the forehead. Paired with a pair of eye-catching small leather shoes, it is majestic and radiant, and it is very handsome. Vicky. Seeing his girlfriend staring at other men with straight eyes, Zhou Jun said that he was a little unhappy. It was the first time that Vinovich had looked at another man in this way. And it's more affectionate than when I first looked at him. Called twice, but Nanovich did not reply. Zhou Jun walked up to her and blocked her view with his broad shoulders. That's when Nanovich reacted. What's wrong? Zhou Jun immediately rolled his eyes. What's the matter? I'm a big handsome guy here, and you're showing me the other men. Zhou Jun turned his head to look at Li Yan behind him and continued. Am I handsome? Nanovich, how can you be handsome? You are the most handsome. She replied with a forced smile. I thought, doesn't the Zhou army of Temio have self-knowledge? It's obviously several times more handsome than him, okay. There's no way she's going to answer no, isn't that a slap in the face on the spot? Isn't it saying that her own eyes are not good? And if it weren't for the fact that he couldn't get this person who was better than Zhou Jun, who would still be here to deal with him? So for now, she won't abandon Zhou Jun. Although Zhou Jun is not as good as Li Yan, compared with Su Xinran, she feels that Su Xinran can't find someone better than Zhou Jun even if she lights the lantern. But at this time, Nanovich suddenly came up with a new idea. I can't even get that handsome and golden man, so I should be able to make a friend. Seeing that he made such an extraordinary move today, you know that he must be a big-level figure. If she can make friends with him, Su Xinran can't envy that there is such a big person by her side. Why not? Then Nanovich ignored Zhou Jun's opposition and walked towards Li Yi with a smile. Hello, my name is Nanovich, can I make a friend? When Su Xinran saw that Nanovich was greeting Li Yan, the obsessive look on Li Yan was immediately retracted. His eyes looked at Nanovich viciously. This guy, shouldn't he have hit Li Yan with his idea? Su Xinran hurriedly rushed forward to prepare to show her image as a hostess. Honey, why did you arrive so late? As he spoke, he stretched out his hands to hold Li Yan's arm. Li Yi, who hadn't had time to reply to Nanovich's words, was suddenly taken aback when he saw Su Xinran's abnormal behavior. The goosebumps that had been hibernating all over my body were rising. This made him feel a little awkward, and instinctively pushed Su Xinran's hands away that were holding his arms. Su Xinran was embarrassed at this time. Did Li Yan forget to ask him for help with his one-day fake boyfriend today? Nanovich on the side was suddenly startled when she heard Su Xinran call Li Yan so intimately and behaved so intimately. She was a little confused. How could Su Xinran know such a big person, and the relationship was not ordinary? Later, after seeing all Li Yan's reactions, she dispelled that terrifying thought. There was an ugly face on his face that was ready to laugh at Su Xinran at any time. Su Xinran, are you necessary? People who don't even have a boyfriend, now in order to be able to compare with me, dare to stand up and hook up with this handsome and rich man. No one knows you, and you are so intimate, are you ashamed? If it were me, I should have found a crack in the ground to turn it in, ha ha ha. Nanovich looked at Su Xinran with a look of contempt. Then he began to mock recklessly. However, Li Yan has not forgotten the purpose of his coming here today. The reason why he broke free of Su Xinran's hand was because the sudden closeness made him unacceptable for a while, and he didn't react. At first, when Nanovich stepped forward to greet Li Yi, he didn't know who the beautiful woman in front of him was. I didn't know until now after seeing Nanovich's performance. It turned out that she was a college classmate who always liked to go toe-for-tat with Su Xinran. After pushing away Su Xinran's hand, Li Yan immediately held Su Xinran's little hand in front of Nanovich, and his fingers were interlocked. Thinking about the introduction that Nanovic introduced to himself just now, he hasn't returned yet. He smiled and replied to Nanovic. Hello, my name is Li Yan, Su Xinran's boyfriend. After the introduction, Li Yan held his hand tightly interlocked with Su Xinran in front of Nanovic. The corners of Nanovic's mouth, which had been smug just now, were twitching at the moment. There was clearly a big question mark on his face. The sudden change in style makes people feel like they were tortured in ancient times. When Su Xinran grabbed Li Yan's arm just now, didn't he break free with extreme reluctance? Now. Do you feel uncomfortable holding your arms? A comfortable way to hold hands. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. How could Su Xinran have a boyfriend? If you have a boyfriend, forget it, it's more handsome than Zhou Jun. Even if you are more handsome than Zhou Jun, you are richer and better than Zhou Jun. The stomach that was already hungry and growling, but now that I have eaten such a large handful of sweet dog food, the hunger pangs disappear in a flash. And Zhou Jun just watched all this silently from the sidelines. As Nanovic's boyfriend, he knows very well and understands that the reason why Nanovic brought him to see Su Xinran today is just to show off. He didn't think he was so good, and he knew that there were people outside the world, and there was a sky outside the sky. Nanovic's ability to show off is a bad habit. This is good, stealing chickens is not a success, but it will be eroded. No one is to blame for being slapped in the face. On the other side, Su Xinran saw Li Yan's powerful boyfriends. It felt as if there was a cupid beside her, holding a sword of love, stabbing deep into her heart one by one. She looked at Li Yan and felt that Li Yan today was extremely handsome and domineering, and also extremely gentle. I'm like a little bee in a honey jar. I was happily tasting the sweet taste of the honey jar. In the end, Su Xinran set her eyes on Li Yan's hand held high. Looked at her hand with Li Yan's fingers interlocked. She didn't even realize now that Li Yan's hands were so good-looking, long and thin. She was envious of a girl. She thought about it before she came. At most, she stepped forward to hold Li Yan's arm. After all, it's acting, so you have to act it really. But she never imagined that there would be intimate contact in addition to holding arms. And it was Li Yan who took the initiative. Just hugged her hand to sleep every day, as if Li Yan was by his side and held his hand to sleep. What are you doing stupidly, aren't you hungry? Seeing that everyone was looking at him stupidly, Li Yan was a little speechless. Aren't they hungry? Anyway, I'm already hungry, and my chest is pressed against my back. After speaking, Li Yan took Su Xinran's hand, was led by the waiter, and then entered the high-end private room. Su Xinran stared at the little hand held by Li Yan so stupidly. Then he followed Li Yan's steps and entered the private room. On the other hand, Nanovic said that the dog food was really a bit of a stomach. Originally thought that he was fully prepared to show off Zhou Jun with Su Xinran. Who knew that a top person would come out halfway, Li Yi? What kind of face does she have to go in and eat? Turned around and planned to escape from this embarrassing scene that was about to be deducted from the 3-room and 1-room scene. Although she really wanted to see how luxurious that good top private room really was. Caused Li Yan to spend a sky-high price to book. But she really didn't have the face to go in. When Zhou Jun saw Nanovic leaving, he also left after him. Superior on the inside of the private room. Li Yi motioned for Su Xinran to let go of her little hand that was holding him tightly. Nanovic, they are gone. But Su Xinran grabbed it tighter. You've agreed to be my boyfriend for a day, and the day hasn't ended. So, you're still my boyfriend. Su Xinran said with a smile. Li Yan said that he was a little helpless. This woman. Yikes. It's not typical to pick up cheap and sell well. Then you'll have to let me eat with my hands free. Li Yan replied helplessly. Then Su Xinran smiled and embarrassedly let go of her clenched hand. However, she was a little curious, why did Li Yan spend such a high price of 1 yuan just to book a private room? However, Li Yin said that this was not because he wanted to show off his wealth. Rather, I used a dime to book at the beginning. And that hair was accidentally found under the table in the old house before. It's useless to keep a dime coin. I thought about using it for booking a private room. But who knows that Nanovic raised the price by a dime later. There is no way, the smallest one on his body is only 1 piece. He also wants to keep a low profile, but his strength doesn't allow it. After Li Yan told Su Xinran the reason for the incident, Su Xinran said that he didn't want to talk to him, a big tyrant. Well, the smallest one is only one piece. $1 is enough to charter a week's worth of a restaurant in this restaurant. Fortunately, this restaurant is among the top among all the restaurants in China. Otherwise, other people's bosses still think that Li Yan is not here to eat, but to smash the field and buy the restaurant. After the two of them finished dinner, Su Xinran and Li Yan came out of the restaurant. Li Yan felt a little strange. Where are the Ferrari drivers? It's normal to do it, and the driver always shows up in front of them on time every time they finish eating or running errands, so as to wait to meet them. There have never been accidents. But today it is long gone. The Ferrari supercar vanished along with its driver. Where's your driver? Li Yan asked Su Xinran curiously. Su Xinran stepped forward and looked around, left and right. I feel strange, too. The driver didn't ask her for leave today. Why didn't I see anyone? It's impossible to run away in a Ferrari. But it's impossible. Since she became an adult, this driver and the Ferrari luxury car have been a birthday present from her father. Over the years, according to what she knows about this driver, the driver is not the kind of person with bad intentions. So it's definitely not because of greed for money and then kidnapping a Ferrari luxury car. And the salary and treatment for drivers at home are very generous. Although Ferrari luxury cars are indeed worth a lot of money. But the driver will not be stupid enough to give up the iron job he can work for a lifetime, and this generous salary is lost because of a small loss. So Su Xinran really couldn't think of any reason why the driver didn't come to pick up and drop off on time today. Returned to Li Yan's side, spread her hands, and shook her head, indicating that she didn't know either. And Li Yan was even more speechless at this time. This Su Xinran is afraid that he will not be a fool. Wouldn't you call and ask? Harm, it's useless to look good, the key is to have a brain. Could it be that the bears really don't have brains? You don't have a driver's phone, Was reminded by Li Yan like this, Su Xinran suddenly realized. Said excitedly. Yes, I didn't think of that, you're so smart. As he spoke, he made a big awesome gesture towards Li Yi. Li Yi was really speechless by Su Xinran. Then Su Xinran took out her mobile phone from her luxury bag and dialed the driver's number. Hey, why didn't you come today? On the other side of the phone, the driver did not respond. I only heard a big pant of gas that had been flustered. In fact, he was in a car accident on the way to pick up Su Xinran and Li Yan in a Ferrari luxury car today. But the good thing is that the others are fine, but they are not lightly frightened. There is also Su Xinran's Ferrari luxury car that was hit to pieces. Was already scared half to death because of an accidental car accident, and now a sky-high Ferrari sports car that was damaged is added. It's his full responsibility again. Although his monthly salary is very generous, he has to compensate for this, a Ferrari luxury car that is sky-high for him. Then his little salary is not enough to stuff the teeth between the teeth of the Ferrari luxury car. This is also the reason why he didn't pick up Su Xinran on time today. Because he was afraid. Now Su Xinran's sudden call made him even more flustered. Shortness of breath and too scared to speak. But I thought about it again. No matter who Su Xinran's family is, they are very good to him, and he couldn't even afford shorts when he was poor. Fortunately, Su Xinran's father is a good person, so he arranged this job for him. Hired him as Su Xinran's exclusive driver. So now that something happens, you can't just ignore it like this, and then run away. Finally, he took a deep breath, and then said to Su Xinran tremblingly on the phone. Big miss. Sorry for the car accident, your Ferrari luxury car. Probably scrapped. As he spoke, the driver choked up with a little crying. And when Su Xinran heard the news, the whole person began to worry. Hurriedly asked the driver if he was okay. After making sure that there is nothing wrong with the driver's safety. The stone she was hanging from also fell smoothly to the ground. Phew, it's okay, the car doesn't matter. Seeing that she was so abnormal, Li Yan stepped forward to ask what was going on. After Su Xinran informed Li Yan of what happened, Li Yan also took a deep breath. Luckily, people are okay. If the car is gone, you can buy it again, but you only have one life, and if you lose it, you can't buy it back no matter how much money you use. Then the driver continued. Miss, don't worry, I will definitely compensate you for your Ferrari. It's just that. In time. After speaking, the driver cried directly. Sushinran was surprised. For so many years, no matter how big the driver encountered, he would not shed a single tear. Is a very strong person. But today it was. Because of a sports car. Then she hurriedly replied. You don't have to pay for the car. But now I don't have a car, so I can't hire you as a driver and pay you a salary for the time being. Why don't you go home and rest for a while? Hearing Sushinran say this, the driver didn't say a word more. After all, he really can't afford to lose the Ferrari luxury car. I can't afford to lose it for the rest of my life. I just felt very ashamed of Sushinran in my heart. So I secretly swore that in the future, if Sushinran needed his help with anything, he would do his best to help. Just as the driver was about to hang up the phone, Sushinran suddenly had a photo that was important to her in her mind. Even more important than Ferrari luxury cars, more than all luxury goods. Wait, where is the car now? Sushinran hurriedly stopped the driver who was about to hang up the phone and said very seriously. The driver told her the exact location of the scrapped Ferrari. Sushinran rushed to the scene of the incident in a panic. No matter what, she must find the photo today. Li Yan felt a little strange when he saw Sushinran so flustered. Didn't the driver on the phone already say that the other person was fine? Then why is Sushinran still so anxious? Could it be that she is reluctant to accompany her for so many years in a luxury car? And then want to take a last look at the Lally luxury car? I haven't had time to ask Sushinran what happened. I saw Sushinran trotting to the side of the road and intercepting a taxi. Seeing this, Li Yan also followed out of worry. Because he didn't know what was going on. If it was a dangerous thing, Sushinran would not help if a girl went. At least he went with him and had a look for what happened. In a taxi. Sushinran nervously kneaded her little hands, and the frequency of her heartbeat became faster and faster. The palms of his hands were about to break out in a slight cold sweat. He took out one wet tissue after another from his bag and wiped the sweat on his forehead over and over again. Over and over again, I asked the taxi driver if he could drive faster, faster. Seeing her so anxious, the taxi driver pinched a cold sweat for her. He also wants to drive faster, but he has to watch the traffic lights and obey the traffic rules. Li Yan patted Sushinran's shoulder. At this moment, in order to relieve her anxious state, the only way is to divert her attention. Then Li Yan said slowly. Tell me about it. Sushinran glanced at Li Yan. Take a deep breath. Then he slowly replied. Like you, I have an important picture on the Ferrari and I have to get it back. In addition, Sushinran also said. If she goes late, she doesn't know where her scrap Ferrari will be taken by the insurance company. When it's time to clean up or repair the car, and throw away the photo that is important to her as garbage. Then it was useless for her to cry to death. It was a group photo she took with her friends when she was very young. When they were young, they all parted ways for some reason, and now they can't be contacted if they want to. But that happy time when she was a child she will never forget for the rest of her life. She, like Li Yi, is a very nostalgic person. So I often think of the little friend in the photo. When she misses them, she takes out photos and looks at them, which are indispensable memories of her childhood. She has also been looking forward to the day when God will favor them to meet again. After listening to Sushinran's statement, Li Yan was a little surprised. He used to go to the company where he used to work to find a photo that was very important to him, and like Sushinran, it was a photo with his friends when he was a child. He didn't expect that Sushinran would have the same childhood memories as him. So he can understand Sushinran's mood at the moment. Comforted Sushinran. Don't panic, you'll find it. On one side, the taxi driver finally arrived at his destination after a period of time. Sushinran hurriedly got out of the taxi. When she saw a trailer preparing to pull her Ferrari away from her, she hurried up. Opened the smashed-out Ferrari door. As she entered the car, the little Chanel dress she had just bought was accidentally scratched by a broken Ferrari door. But she didn't have the heart to care about these details at the moment. Compared to that important photo, Even the most expensive luxury is no longer relevant to her. I just looked around the car for that picture. After all, it is on the road, in order not to affect the normal driving situation of other vehicles. The tow truck master reminded her to try to be as fast as possible and not to affect everyone because of a broken photo. And Su Shinran looked at the trailer master with a vicious white eye, and then continued to search. She felt a little strange. Obviously she was in the suitcase. Why can't I find it? Moments later, she finally found the photo under the passenger seat of a tattered Ferrari. It turned out that the car had damaged the suitcase at the front end during the collision. The photo fell out of the suitcase and fell under the co-pilot's seat. It took a lot of effort for her to get the picture out from under her chair. Su Shinran took the dusty photo and slowly walked down from the Ferrari sports car. Then take out a tissue from your bag and wipe the dirt off the photo repeatedly. Blew lightly on the photo. Looking at the photo in his hand, he smiled with satisfaction. Li Yan stepped forward. It turned out to be a photo of Su Shinran when she was a child, and he was very curious, what did Su Shinran look like when she was a child? Now that he is so slim, he must have died of fat when he was a child. Walked behind Su Shinran. And a sudden attack came, snatching the photo in Su Shinran's hand into his own hands. Su Shinran frowned at first, and was about to turn around to see who wanted to kill so much and dared to rob her of things. When he saw that the person holding the photo of him when he was a child was Li Yan, his attitude changed instantly. He pouted and said, "Give it back to me." And Li Yan held the photo high. With his height of more than 1.8 meters, no matter how tall Su Shinran is, he can't touch the photo of him held up high. Li Yan looked at Su Shinran's cute appearance, and couldn't help but show an ugly face. In the end, after dying and struggling, Su Shinran chose to give up. Then he hid far away, saying that he didn't want to hear Li Yan's laughter after seeing her when she was a child. Then, with excitement, Li Yan picked up the photo he snatched from Su Shinran and looked at it. It's exactly the same as the photo I always kept with my friends when I was a child. After taking a closer look, Li Yan fell into of deep thought. Su Shinran's photo is the same as his, and there are 3 people in the photo. When Li Yan saw this photo, he already understood the whole thing. The little boy in the middle is himself. And the little girl next to him in the photo is Su Shinran. Before that, he had always thought that God would definitely not arrange another chance for them to meet in the future. When he saw this photo, he never thought that God still favored them. If it weren't for this accident, it is estimated that he would never know that Su Shinran was his childhood friend who had been looking forward to seeing him again. It is also the little girl in the picture of his childhood that he has always kept, which is full of joy throughout his childhood. And Su Shinran at this time. She still stayed aside and covered her ears with her pink hands. Li Yan stepped forward. Took off Su Shinran's hand that was covering her ears. Then he looked at Su Shinran affectionately and slowly said the sentence that had been planned for a long time. Long time no see. And Su Shinran felt a little inexplicable at this time. According to the plot she had in mind, Li Yan should be laughing loudly at her chubby appearance when she was a child. Now this. What's the situation? And that sentence long time no see. It was only a few minutes from the time she left Li Yan's line of sight. This. How long? Then he raised his right hand and touched it on Li Yan's forehead. I don't have a fever either. Could it be that he suffered from Alzheimer's disease at a young age? Or is it possible that Li Yan likes her now? And then the thoughts about her have reached this level. Every minute is like a year. Su Shinran imagined in her mind all kinds of possibilities that would cause Li Yan to say this. Thinking about it, her cheeks inadvertently began to turn red again. The little face was hot, and if she beat a raw egg on her face, it would be as if she could blanch the egg. However, she didn't know that Li Yan's sentence of not seeing her for a long time was actually because they had known each other for a long, long time. I didn't know that in the photo she had been cherishing, Li Yan was the little boy in the middle. Before she met Li Yan, it can be said that she was a smart girl. But after meeting Li Yan, his mind was full of how to get Li Yan's heart, how to make Li Yan's good impression of himself increase, and so on. Naturally, there is no room left in my head to think about these questions. Li Yan didn't have any reaction when he saw Su Shinran. I thought about it. There is also no much explanation of the problem. Because when he was young, in addition to him and Su Xinran in the photo, another little friend was no longer alive. However, Su Xinran was the first to leave at that time, so she didn't know about it. If he told Su Xinran now, he was the little boy in the photo. Presumably Su Xinran will definitely ask about another little friend. When she learned the bad news, according to her character as a girl, she would definitely cry and be sad for a while. So Li Yi planned not to mention this matter too much. When Su Xinran was about to ask about this, Li Yan diverted the topic. Go to the car dealership. Since Su Xinran's car could no longer be used, Li Yi decided to buy a car by himself. To facilitate future travel. After all, the smallest soft girl coin on his body is only one piece. If you rely on a taxi to travel, the driver will inevitably go crazy for $1. And even if Su Xinran's car didn't have this accident, he was ready to buy one. Because it's impossible to travel in someone else's car for the rest of your life. Even if Su Xinran didn't suggest it, he didn't want to do it. Because he's not short of money now. There is also the private parking garage at the entrance of his sea view villa. The parking garage seems to be lonely and empty enough, and every time Li Yan goes home and passes by there, he will always be attracted by it. Reminds Li Yan all the time that it should have a luxury car of its own, otherwise it will really be abandoned. Su Xinran felt a little strange. Buying a car. Do you know how to drive? She has never seen Li Yi drive, and a hero like Li Yang generally doesn't need to drive by himself. Just like herself, as an adult, her father gave her a Ferrari, but she didn't actually know how to drive. That's why Daddy assigned her a driver. Because with her family's economic conditions, she will not need to drive by herself for the rest of her life, because she has a driver. Therefore, she felt that Li Yan was also like her, and he did not know how to drive. This sentence is also her torture from the soul. Li Yi. Do you want to see what nonsense Su Xinran is talking about? How could he not drive when he was so old? When he relied on his driver's license, he passed it all at once, and he was the only one in the driving school where he was so good. What's more, in terms of driving skills, compared with Su Xinran, an old driver for many years, he directly threw off a whole street. And even if he can't drive himself, can't he hire a driver like Su Xinran? Or is he unaffordable? I've been with Su Xinran for a long time, why do I feel more and more stupid that she is getting more and more stupid? Su Xinran saw that Li Yan's expression was a little strange. Did she guess wrong? Could it be that Li Yi can drive? That's why you make such a speechless look when facing a question like yourself. Forget it, whatever, you won't know when you get to the car dealership. Subsequently, Su Xinran and Li Yan went to the car dealership together. However, after arriving at the car dealership, every move Li Yan made and every word he said made Su Xinran stunned. She sighed from the bottom of her heart. This man really shouldn't be too good. Come to the car dealership. As soon as Li Yan entered the car dealership, he had various exchanges with the staff. In every conversation, it was revealed that he was a person who knew cars very well. It's as if this dealership is what he drives. Li Yan fell in love with a Rolls-Royce supercar. After getting in the car, sit in the driver's seat with your hands on either side of the steering wheel and start the engine. Trotted a lap. Such skillful movements can't help but surprise Su Xinran. He actually knows how to drive. Then Li Yi signaled to the staff that it was this Rolls-Royce. After picking up the car from the dealership, Li Yan glanced at Su Xinran. Seeing this, Su Xinran sat in the co-pilot of the Rolls-Royce supercar. Looking at the men driving on her left, Su Xinran felt an inexplicable sense of happiness. Subsequently, Li Yan took Su Xinran to a high-end cafe in a luxury car. Su Xinran felt a little strange. Why did she come to the cafe after picking up the car? Shouldn't you drive the car to the Sea View Villa and settle in? Such an expensive luxury car, what should I do if I knock it? It turned out that Li Yi had received a message from Zhang Xiaojia, an undercover agent, before this. The message reads: Zhao Xia will have afternoon tea with Wang Baoqi at the cafe during this time period. So when you come to the cafe, there must be a good show going on. Then Li Yan handed the news sent by Zhang Xiaojia to Su Xinran. After reading it, Su Xinran also understood. It turns out that Li Yan is going to prepare for a killing spree. Arrive at the cafe. Li Yan first dressed up in disguise. A casual suit that looks inconspicuous. Pair it with a pair of sunglasses. In this way, Zhao Xia must not be able to recognize it. Don't talk about Zhao Xia, you have to take a closer look at your mother when she comes. Su Xinran and Li Yan came to the cafe and sat down, not far from the table of Zhao Xia and Wang Baoqi. Seeing this, the waiter stepped forward to greet Li Yan and the two. What do you want to drink? With this cordial greeting from the waiter, Zhao Xia glanced at Li Yan next to her with her spare eyes. Generally, the people who come to this cafe are either business tycoons or tycoons in the local tycoon world. Seeing Li Yan's shabby dress, she felt that a glance at her afterglow could be regarded as lifting others. Then he smiled and said to Wang Baoqi, "Honey, this cafe is really open to everyone now." Hearing Zhao Xia's yin and yang weirdness, Wang Baoqi followed and looked at the table adjacent to them. That is, the table of Li Yan. Then he also looked at it. If they find it an eyesore, I'll send them away. With that, Wang Baoqi walked towards Li Yan and Su Xinran. Then removed the $5 watch from his right hand and twisted on 2 fingers. He turned around twice in front of Li Yan and Su Xinran, and then threw it on their table. You can come to such a high-end cafe too. Su Xinran was a little confused. They didn't offend anyone. Who is this person? For no reason, there may be some serious illness. Isn't it just using money to smash people? It's great to have money. It's not that I don't have money. You. Su Xinran slapped the table, stood up and wanted to reason with Wang Baoqi. Before he finished speaking, he was grabbed by Li Yi's wrist and sat down. Ha ha ha, yes, you see that this poor pen knows a lot, don't you know if you accept it when you see it? After Wang Baoqi finished speaking, he threw down his watch and returned to Zhao Xia's side. Then Li Yan leaned into Su Xinran's ear and whispered. On the other side is today's owner. Su Xinran's eyes suddenly lit up when she heard this, and she instantly understood. Then, Li got up and picked up the watch that Wang Baoqi threw down. Slowly walked towards Zhao Xia, then stared at Wang Baoqi with his eyes, raised the watch high, and let go of his hand. For them, the sky-high watch fell to the ground and fell to pieces. Then she bent slightly, approached Zhao Xia, took off her sunglasses, and then took out the Rolls-Royce supercar luxury car she had just mentioned and lit it up in front of her eyes. Zhao Xia's eyes were stunned when she saw such a valuable luxury car. The handsome and golden men in front of him. It turned out to be Li Yi. She couldn't believe what was happening. Suddenly collapsed at Li Yan's feet. Grabbed the corner of Li Yan's clothes and begged for forgiveness, but Li Yan didn't look back and left with Su Xinran driving a Rolls-Royce. Only Zhao Xia, who hated herself, and Wang Baoqi, who was stunned, were left in one place to digest by themselves. 2 years later. Li Yong has acquired well-known brand enterprises at home and abroad. Became the richest man in the world. And Wang Baoqi's family went bankrupt, and Zhao Xia also slept on the street. Whether at home or abroad, no company is willing to accept Wang Baoqi and Zhao Xia. Even a very small company rejected the resume submitted by both of them. Because now everyone in the world knows that as long as the two of them are accepted, it is equivalent to having trouble with Li Yan. 5 years later. Li Yan and Su Xinran walked towards the palace of marriage. Gave birth to a well-behaved, handsome and cute big fat boy, and the family was happy. The book concludes.